Hello guys, and welcome here to the Jello Cup Series. This is race number 12 here today from the Talladega SuperSpeedway. Today we present to you the Geico 500. I'm Brian James here, and starting on the pole will be the Season 4 champ Patrick Smith. To his outside will be Joshua Scully in that number 32. Before we get going, let's take a look at your knockout qualifying results. See, Francis Hawes, Rusty Potts, Jordan Anderson, Max Anderson, Willow Ruby Crouch, Jody Shane Davis, and Dan Hummel all advance to today's race, which should prove to be wild. Of course, yesterday's Lift National race went into overtime to settle it, so we could potentially expect the same here today. You never know. And of course, another thing is that these guys will be racing with a lot of urgency. They know a double points race is on the horizon right now. After this race, guys like Dustin Davis, he's the points leader. He's got about a 30-something point lead. He's going to want to either protect it or expand on it entering the double points race, because that race, even though it's a 1.5-mile track, there's a lot of uncertainty that surrounds the Charlotte Motor Speedway and the Coca-Cola 600. You know, some of these guys are going to want to get a win. Some of these guys on the outside of the top 33, they're going to want to fight their way in, not buy, but fight their way in. And of course, they're also going to want to be as close as they can to that 33rd place mark, because again, anything could happen in the Coca-Cola 600. They could easily climb in by a mile, or they could be twice as far back as they were before. So essentially everybody here today is very nervous, very anxious. There's going to be a lot that can happen, and it could happen in a matter of just a split second. Anyway, let's get going here. Let's roll the intro. We'll be back with your starting lineup here on GCN in just a moment. You are watching the Gaming Collaboration Network, home of the Jello Cup Series.
Oh man, through turns 3 and 4, we're going to have ourselves another photo finish, and I believe this time the 43 Tim Randolph will win at Daytona.
The Lift National Series. Here we go. They make their way through turns 3 and 4. The pace car will peel off. And for the first time ever, the Lift National Series is green here at Daytona. The Hitachi Truck Series. And here we go. The pace truck is gonna peel off, and for the first time ever in GCN history, we have a truck series, and we are underway under the lights here at Daytona in Tuesday night heat. Start for us. Your GCN presentation starts right now. Here we go. They make their way on the backstretch. Let's take a look at the starting lineup here on the left-hand side of your screen. Of course, last week's winner, Mohammed Zain Abdullah, he will start at the front. He should be a threat here today. Another guy that should be a threat is in that number 03, and he's the guy I'm going to keep my eyes on today. He's kind of my pick to win this. It is Charles Sanford. He's carrying a Coca-Cola on board today. Let's ride along on the helmet cam. Again, he's the most recent winner here at Talladega. He's starting toward the back, though. He's going to have a lot of work to do. Another thing to keep in mind is overtime is at our dispense here. And of course, we also gotta watch for the big one. We don't know when it will happen, if it'll happen. I don't think it's a question of if, but when. In the 3 and 4 wide racing, 5 wide racing is dangerous here, but these guys do not care, as the pace car will peel off. Who's ready for some madness? It'll be Patrick Smith and Joshua Scully. They're going to lead us to the green flag. We're underway at Talladega. That inside lane not doing a whole lot to help Patrick Smith. There's easily a car length between the 41 and the 42, and you saw how quick the 22 and the 32 got hooked up together. And maybe that's why, look at the brigade of Fords behind Patrick Smith. As Joshua Scully goes to the race lead, here comes Matt Dixon. And he won't even be able to mount that run. The Fords on the inside, though, they're going to take the lead as Joshua Scully leads that group. Another thing we didn't mention, the manufacturer alliances and how much they could impact this race. As to the line, Matt Dixon will lead the opening lap. Hey, don't rule out some manufacturer alliances here. You see the 3 Fords pushing the inside with Matt Dixon leading them. And keep in mind, with Matt Dixon out in front, no rookie has won since the Daytona 500. Could he be the one to break that streak? As he goes down to block Ricky Johnson in the 93, who we thought would have a good shot of winning at Dover, and of course the issue on the pit lane costed him, and that gave the win essentially to Mohammed Zain Abdullah, who is now the second place driver. I mean, so far they're racing wild. I mean, it's 3x3, but they're racing with some respect, thankfully. But here comes that 66, the first Toyota we've seen run toward the front here. And that's Jesse James, and it's going to become a 4-wide situation for second. And thankfully, Mohammed Zain Abdullah will back out of it. But here comes Max Anderson, a guy who has won at Talladega before. Last season's winner here, though, was Ben Crouch. He is not in the field today, unfortunately, as Max Anderson will lead that lap. And I already don't like the looks of this. They're 4 wide across the track here, trying to make it back to 3 wide. But they just keep fanning out, and that's not going to work very well. They're going to have to get it settled out pretty quick, because something's going to break loose here. Here we go, we're coming to lap number 5 here, with Max Anderson leading over Nicky Martinez in second. Someone just brushed the wall back there. I don't exactly know who. I don't see anyone wrecked back there, so that's a good sign. But bad news for whoever just hit the wall. Oh, there they go. 15's around Willow Ruby Crouch. And it's a huge pile up. The pole sitters involved. Jody Shane Davis sliding through here. So is Eric Faden. Astrid Flores as well. The 14 of Carter Joey. Nathan Faden again. As back to the line, it will be Max Anderson. And we said at the beginning, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And the when just happened on lap number 5. Let's go see what happened. And the when occurs with the 27 hooking that 42. It looks like they just got really tight together. They go up, they collect Jody Shane Davis. Actually, both your front row sitters involved in this. And you see the 47 in front of everybody here. It really piles them all in. You see a bunch of them on the apron. The 24, Nate Rattray. Down there, there's the 8. The 43's not going to make it through. No one flips though, but a lot of damage sustained in this wreck for some of these guys. It will take them off the pace. That's a tough break all around for these guys. Let's take you back to the green. Here we go. We get ready for the restart. Eric Faden, Astrid Flores, Michael Collins, Patrick Smith, and Jody Shane Davis all out of the race after that huge wreck there on lap number 5. It'll be Max Anderson leading, Xavier Rain in second, Diego Yepes is in third, a former winner at the track as well, Casey Naneko in fourth, Nicky Martinez in fifth, then you got David Paschal in sixth, Mitchell Collins in 7th, Ricky Johnson in 8th, Dylan Young is 9th, and in 10th is Dallas Jordan. Back in 11th is also, don't rule that guy out, 35 of Chase Miller. He's already won at Daytona this season. But the field will be in the hands of Max Anderson, as he'll lead us back here to the green flag. And we're back underway at Talladega. The 65 goes high. Maybe he had a good run. But for now, Max Anderson will stay in the lead. But here comes that 00. Will he lift and let the 65 in? He will not. And now Casey Naneko going to the inside to make it 3 wide for second. One thing now these guys are going to have to watch. Look ahead. There are slow cars, one of them being Scott Upton. So they're going to have to keep an eye on this. We will for sure have a lap traffic moment at some point. Hopefully this time not involving someone LePaging the field, but granted, yesterday that was Eric Faden's fault as much as it was Dylan Ibrahimian's. Max Anderson continues to lead. He's channeling his inner Ryan Blaney right now, leading at Talladega. Here comes the 93 of Ricky Johnson, and he's going to look for the lead. And it looks like he'll get it this time. So Ricky Johnson the lead. Right behind him, though, is the Daytona 500 winner, who could add to his playoff point total here today. Another guy coming into the mix, that's the 16 of Tyler Faden, and he started this race in last place. So could we have another worst to first situation brewing here? All things we need to keep an eye on. Ricky Johnson continues to lead. You see some of those guys back there maybe just taking it easy, not trying to get involved if there is a big wreck, seeing how aggressive these guys in the front pack are racing. Here comes the 4 as well. That's Zach Fitzwater. But Ricky Johnson will continue to lead, as the front 3 have kind of broken away from this, and now they're trying to take Fitzwater with them. Fitzwater looks low, so does the 16. And Tyler Faden looking for the lead on lap number 11. And he's going to get it. They don't have to worry about Scott Upton probably for another lap or so. But Tyler Faden to the lead. Here comes the 66 of Jesse James, and he's one we haven't talked much about this season. As he is the guy actually on the border. He's the guy on the bubble of that top 33. So for him, if he can lead a lap and finish up front, this would be a huge day for that 66 team. Of course, this team almost finished last in the points last season. And this season making the full-on switch to Toyota. It seems to be helping them as well as the luck of the draw, of course. And you see there, the 43 on the front stretch. Heading for turn 1 now as it's 4 wide for the lead. And here comes Dick Clark, another one battling to get into the top 33. And he'll lead the lap. His teammate, the points leader now looking, that's Dustin Davis. Boy, I said they just want to take it easy. They got to play defense. They're playing a lot of offense right now. Now here comes Brandon Harris. And Brandon Harris will now get the race lead. And this lead just keeps changing hands with every lap. But keep in mind again, look how close they're getting to Scott Upton. They might catch him on the backstretch. Alright, and yep, they're going to catch him here as Tim Randolph goes to the lead. Casey Naneko's second, Charles Sanford third. Actually, they're going to catch him in turns 3 and 4. A lap traffic moment, just as we anticipated and just what this was built for. It's a lap traffic moment presented by Fitzwater's Angriness. And the 43 trying to get out of the way, but they are in 3 different lanes. So this does not make navigating this very easy. It looks like most of the leaders get through. Up ahead, though, is Joshua Sakali. He'd be the next one these guys catch. And of course, those guys, keep in mind, even though they're trying to get around this 43, their biggest goal is to stay 1 lap down for the reset in case we do have a late race restart. The 18 is blown up. Casey Naneko with an engine issue, and now he's in the way and will cut down to safely exit the track. Thankfully, no one gets involved in that. High speeds, this is always dangerous. And that is just a heartbreak for Casey Naneko. He was having a really good run today, managing to stay up front. And you see it's about a 7-car breakaway. I mean, Dylan Young's gonna reel these guys in. He's got a good enough draft to make it happen. And the big thing right now is these guys just want to get single file. They're gonna want to get single file because they can for sure break away from this pack behind them that's completely unorganized. Here we go. The battle for the lead is still on, and Max Anderson looking to take it away. I don't know if he did that lap. They're going to say he did. So Max Anderson to the lead once again. But guess what? We're going to have ourselves another lap traffic moment here on lap 17, presented by Fitzwater's Angriness. And it doesn't look like it's going to impact the leaders. They catch him at just the right spot. The 53, what was she doing? We're going to keep an eye on this. These guys are catching him in a very bad spot. And that was just a bad spot to catch a lapped car. I mean, at least the leaders caught him on the backstretch and could easily split him with the two row packs. See right there, Scully trying to get out of the way, but they're running 3 different lanes right now, and that does not make navigating this any easier. And once that 66 gets around, they should be good. Up front, though, Nicky Martinez leads the race. Here comes Tim Randolph now in the number 6, trying to make something happen with 11 to go. Another guy up here is Mitchell Collins, who did pretty well last season driving the number 22 for Team Penske. He moves over to the Wood Brothers this season, trying to have some similar success. Hasn't gotten off to the best start, but he would sure love to change that here today at Talladega. I don't think they'll have to worry about this pack as much coming up, because keep in mind that pack's running about 182, 183. They're only a little bit off the pace, so it shouldn't slow them up too much. But it is Talladega. Anything can happen with 10 laps to go. After this, we go to Charlotte. It is a double points race coming up. Then we go to Texas. And that, of course, will open up next month here on GCN. Then I believe we go to the Milwaukee Mile. And then we go to Road America and Darlington, which would be the next double points race. So we got a few of those coming up in the foreseeable future. And of course, Darlington, the second to last one of the season. The caution's out. The 43 of Scott Upton's up ahead. Stay low, and I think they will avoid him. A very lucky break there, but I'm wondering if that 43 had anything to do with the caution. Let's go see what happened. Well, I didn't think lap traffic moments would impact anybody this far back, but it did with the 3 and the 43, and see the 43 comes down, tries to protect the lane. Nathan Faden says, "I don't think so, and I'm not lifting for you," and just dumps the 43 there. And of course, it's right in the middle of the track. It's only a 1-car incident, and I'm shocked because this is Talladega. Usually anything can happen here. And thankfully, when Scott Upton merges, he doesn't cause a bigger issue, which is always a great thing here. Anyway, let's take you back to the green. We are getting ready for the restart here, and I'm not going to lie to you, I don't like the timing of this restart, because we go back green with about 7 laps to go. And you saw just how slow that 43 was. And you saw how slow the 32 was. This could create a big incident in the final laps. So these leaders are going to probably proceed with caution here. Oh, the 6 is blown up from the race lead. A good day down the drain for Tim Randolph. That is a tough break. He was the race leader. It'll now be Nicky Martinez with Max Anderson second, Mitchell Collins in third, Dan Hummel fourth, Dylan Young fifth, Dallas Jordan in sixth, Dustin Davis seventh, Zach Fitzwater eighth, Diego Yepes in ninth, and in 10th is now Dick Clark. Heartbreak for the sixth. They were probably one of the fastest cars out here. But now the lead is in the hands of Nicky Martinez as we are back underway. I imagine they will not be very happy after this one. Here goes the 12 of Max Anderson trying to make something happen. His Ford teammate, and practically his teammate anyway, Mitchell Collins, was high trying to help the 95 out. It didn't work out there. Max Anderson to the lead, and now the two Penske cars and the adopted Penske car working to the inside. With Dustin Davis, by the way, keep an eye on that 5. He's the points leader entering today. He's got the most consistent finishing results here. He's got an average finish of about 10th entering this race, and he's having another strong showing here today. We got 6 to go in the 3 Penske built cars are pacing the field right here. Here goes Mitchell Collins. He's going to have that 5 helping him. Zach Fitzwater's also in the mix. First time in a few races we've seen him up front, which is always good for the Australian driver. Anyway, Mitchell Collins leads, coming back to 5 laps to go. Will he hang on to it? I think the 12 beat him that time. And yes, the 12 did. Nicky Martinez to that inside. Man, you see some evasive moves at the back. That won't end well, and we're going to have 4 wide for second. Now here comes the 65 of Xavier Rain trying to get a win for Western New York Autosport. And that car, keep in mind, has not had much luck since Patrick Smith left the team. And they would love to get their first win since that championship season 2 seasons ago. Up ahead, the 43 Scott Upton, he's entering the tri-oval. These guys will catch him. It will be a problem. As he's 40 miles an hour slower, I'm shocked they haven't parked the 43. Because they honestly should. I mean, he's way slower than the leaders. They should park him for the race, because he's going to cause a huge incident here. 65 leads, 3 laps to go. And they'll probably catch him here on the backstretch with any luck. But seeing that they're already 3 wide, this might not end well. Nah, they're probably going to catch him next lap. Xavier Rain is leading the race, but here comes the 77 of David Paschal. He'll get moved up. Jesse James on his way to the inside. Like I said, with any luck, hopefully these guys can catch him on the backstretch and it won't impact the race to the finish. We come to 2 laps to go. And they've caught him. Lap traffic moment, and again, another incident involving the leader. We've just lived up to the name here. That's a lap traffic moment presented by Fitzwater's angriness. Just pure stupidity, that's just complete unawareness. That's the second race in a row here at Talladega that we have had a lapped car essentially spoil the race. The 65 had this. I can't imagine how upset Xavier Rain is right now. And we will reset for overtime. David Paschal will lead us back to the green in just a moment. And great days were going for Xavier Rain and Jesse James. They were both toward... Jesse James was borderline inside the top 33. I don't anticipate he'll leave in that position, with Jordan Anderson running up front. That's a really tough break for both those guys. Of course, Scott Upton race control. 43 is done. Of course, he's 2 laps down. He will finish in 33rd today. Joshua Scully, Carter Joey, they will benefit from this. We're going to reset the field real quick, but let's go see what happened. And maybe I owe an apology to Scott Upton here. This, honestly, again, just deja vu from yesterday's race where Eric Faden he faked to the inside and instead drove straight through him. So this is more on Xavier Rain, a rookie mistake. And it's a huge rookie mistake. And it drags all these guys into this wreck. Charles Sanford. Dan Hummel manages, I think, to avoid it. The 9 of Rusty Pot's not so lucky. And unfortunately, neither is the 03 or the 53. The 16 involved too. We're setting up for another weekend of overtime here at Talladega. We'll get the field reset and we'll be back in just a moment here with GCN overtime. Here we go. It's time for GCN overtime presented by Mitchell's Memes. Keep in mind, of course, this is a green-white checkered attempt here. And the rules, of course, the guys who are 1 lap down get a wave around. The guys 2 or more laps down, done for the race. So Scott Upton and Xavier Rain, unfortunately the 2 that were listed as 2 laps down at the end of it, they are done for the day, as is all the guys who were out due to the wrecks earlier in the day. Of course, the leader will take the green flag here. If a caution occurs before the leader takes the white flag, we will redo it as many times, or we'll redo it again, and we can do this as many times as needed to ensure a green flag finish. Now, if the leader takes the white flag and a caution comes out after that, the race is over. So things to keep in mind as we get going here once again. It'll be David Paschal, Mitchell Collins, Ricky Johnson, Nicky Martinez, Dustin Davis, your top 5. And Dylan Young, of course, in 6th. But keep an eye on Dustin Davis as the green flag waves. We're back underway. And the 5 shoots up the track with 2 to go. Might not have been the best move, but he manages to get back in line. And look at just how hard that 95 is pushing the 21 out in front. Now the 77's got someone on his bumper. He's got Ricky Johnson there. Here goes Dustin Davis to the inside. On the outside, though, that lane is working. It's going to be 4 wide for third, as Mitchell Collins goes to the race lead. The downside of this is he is in the catbird seat. He is very vulnerable as we come to the final stages here. The white flag will wave. 1 lap of racing to go, presented by Mitchell's Memes, and the guy who's in charge of the memes is leading the race. Here we go. He's got 2 Chevys lined up behind him, and one of them is a go-or-go-homer, so you know that Jordan Anderson knows what's at stake here. Here comes the 4 of Zach Fitzwater. Could he make a charge? Through turns 3 and 4. Here comes the 4. Who would have thought it'd come down to these two? To the inside. Here they go. Down the front stretch. It's going to be a side-by-side battle. Does Zach Fitzwater have enough? He does. Zach Fitzwater wins at Talladega. Oh man, friends off the track, and it was a clean finish. Give them that. But Mitchell Collins, oh, they wrecked behind. And it was just someone hitting the wall, thankfully. But Zachary Fitzwater, his 2nd win of the season. And this should really help him in the playoff battle, and especially gives him some valuable points entering Charlotte. But for Mitchell Collins, a heartbreak. A last lap pass, and it gets him. And this was probably his best chance to win to this point in the season. So you really got to feel for that Wood Brothers team. We want to thank you for watching. We're going to show you your results and standings, and we'll see you next Sunday for the double points race, the Coca-Cola 600 at Charlotte. But as we go to show you your results, we will also show you how close this finish was. Until then, goodbye everyone.